folks, you are now listening to Hello China at 103.2 Dublin City FM. The program is co-hosted by UCD Confucius Institute for Ireland. I'm Tian, producer and presenter. And here we also have Fiachra and Si. Hi, how are you guys?
I'm good.
Okay.
Si, I heard that you have been traveled a lot in China, right?
Yeah, it's true. Like Shanghai, Northwest, Chongqing, Yunnan, Sichuan, and so on.
Wow, that's quite a few places. For all those places you have been to, where's your favorite?
I would probably say Yunnan province.
Yunnan? Yeah, that's true.
And I often ask foreigners will they want to travel in China. Most of them mention Yunnan.
Really? Fiachra, so have you ever been to Yunnan province before?
I have. I really enjoyed my trip there. And
Wow.
I think my basic Chinese would help me understand the name. Yun means clouds and Nan means south, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it implies beautiful clouds in the south. Yunnan.
So again, I'm the only one who has never been to Yunnan before. So let's just talk about Yunnan today. Is that okay?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay. But speaking of Yunnan province, I have to tell you guys a movie which was played during the Dublin Chinese Film Festival entitled Walking to School. Have you ever saw it before?
No, I've never heard that.
No, what's it about?
It's a very moving story. You know, for most of us, the daily journey to school can be an effort. But for children living in the heart of Yunnan's Gongshan mountain, being able to walk to school is something that they can only dream about. Because their only mode of transport is sliding over an extremely dangerous gorge using a rusty cable since there is a big river between a village and a school. Can you imagine that?
It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, and this movie is based on the story of a girl, Na Xiang, and his little brother, Wa Wa. Because the zip wire is so dangerous, Wa Wa is not allowed to go to school like her sister, because this is simply too dangerous for him. But he's very desperate to learn, so he secretly crossed the river several times. However, one day his sister slips into the river and died.
Oh my god.
Yeah, from then on, Wawa has a deep fear of the zip wire and never dares to use the rope bridge again. Then the community builds a footbridge across the river and names it the Compassion Bridge. Wawa, from then on, is finally able to walk to school. I still remember the last scenario of the movie. In an early spring sunshine, Wawa sees a vision of her sister and then join hands and cross the bridge together. Well, it's such a moving story.
But why didn't people there build the bridge at first?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's based on a true story, right?
Yeah, it's based on a true story.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why they cannot build a bridge in the first place is because Yunnan is very poor. Fiachra, since you have been to a lot of places in China before, have you ever realized the uneven development
Disparity.
of the Chinese economy?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, even as you leave the main cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and it's almost like an instantaneous transformation as you leave the suburbs from housing and infrastructure to just fields and people working, in the fields, harvesting.
Yeah.
So they're living a much simpler life, and I don't think they have as many needs, but they definitely don't earn as much money as well.
Yeah.
So.
And Yunnan is one of the China's relatively undeveloped provinces, with more poverty-stricken counties than other provinces. In 1994, about 7 million people lived below the poverty line of less than an annual average income of around €30 per capita. Can you believe that? What kind of life do they have?
I know. Dan spent €30 on coppers the other night.
Yeah. They were distributed in a province 73 counties, mainly and financially supported by the central government. Until 2002, the absolute poor rural population in a province has been reduced significantly. The government launched a poverty alleviation plan, including 5 large projects aimed at improving infrastructure facilities. They involve planned attempts at soil improvement, water conservation, electric power, roads, and green belt building. Upon the completion of the projects, the province hopes this will alleviate the shortage of green, water, electric power, and roads, and that's why the story happened. Fiachra, have you ever heard about a very famous Chinese medicine company called Yunnan Baiyao?
I think so, right. Did they form a strategic partnership with an Irish pharmaceutical company?
Yeah, that's true.
Ultracell Pharmaceuticals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so when did that happen? In 2005?
2005. Yeah.
Right. And that involved kind of, wound-based product and more stuff like bleeding and, all surface wounds and stuff like that, right?
And that Irish company helps the Yunnan Baiyao to become one of the most competitive company in China.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's a good success story for Irish and Chinese cooperation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but the medicine industry is now the main industry in Yunnan province. Actually, the biggest industry in Yunnan is the tourism industry. That's why you guys just like to travel to Yunnan province. But it's a pity that I have never been there. So any suggestions for me? I really want to go there someday.
Do you know the secret of the charm of Yunnan province?
What? I've never heard about that.
I'm going to take a guess at the beautiful scenery, the rare plants, and the specialties of the locals.
These are all part of the answer, but they're definitely not everything. Yunnan not only boasts a fabulous natural landscape, but also fascinating ethnic customs. And there are 56 nationalities in China, and Yunnan accounts for 25 nationalities of them. This makes it the most culturally diverse province in China. Whether you are visiting a Dongba village, the Dai Water Splashing Festival, the Third Mouse Festival of the Bai nationality, or the Torch Festival of the Yi people, you will find that Yunnan is a place that celebrates life. And Yi nationality has the largest number of people among ethnic minority groups in Yunnan. And one of the main holidays of the Yi people of southwest China is the Torch Festival, as mentioned before. It is also celebrated by other ethnic groups of the region there, such as Bai, Naxi, and so on. The Torch Festival is the most elaborate and widely celebrated, with a very strong religious element and known as the Oriental Carnival.
Yeah, no, as you're saying, we should probably emphasize how important the Torch Festival is, and it falls on the 24th day of the 6th lunar month, so on that day the Yi people from Shilin County gather at the stone forest and participate in different activities, shopping in the market, bullfighting, dancing and fireworks, etc., right? And I think the main thing is it's a great opportunity for the young men and women to meet their prospective spouses.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, I know. So
it's just like Valentine's Day, huh?
Yeah, maybe it's their version of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So, I know, but what's the capital of Yunnan?
Kunming.
Yeah, Kunming.
Kunming, yeah, with a history of more than 2,400 years. Owes its importance to the fact that it was a gateway to the celebrated Silk Road that facilitated trade with Tibet, Sichuan, Burma, and India. Kunming enjoys a pleasant climate and does its best to live up to its title of the City of Eternal Spring.
Yeah, we call it a spring city. But it's very different from Jinan. We talked about before. It's another spring city,
yeah.
but it's not about weather. It's about the water. Spring city, yeah.
One of my abiding memories of Kunming would be the stone forest, Shilin, located outside of the capital.
But it's wrong. You should pronounce it like Shilin.
Shilin?
Yeah, that's
the
it.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh, we get a bit of Chinese lesson here as well. Brilliant. And I must say it's one of the world's natural wonders, right? So massive pillars of grey rock and form a gigantic forest, and some of them have taken on the appearance of different animals like snakes, elephants, birds and dragons. So this to the Chinese people is quite magical and mysterious, and that's why it's so popular, a tourist attraction. So anyone who's visiting Yunnan should definitely make sure they check it out.
You are right.
And Kunming is also renowned for many delicious local dishes. The most famous ones are a cross-fried rice noodle.
Yeah, rice noodles. I love it so much. We have to talk about it. You know how to cook that, Ci?
I think it's very complex.
Yeah, but I can explain it in a simple way. It is a typical Yunnan local flavor food, just like you said. This dish consists of several courses. You just put some pepper powder and hot chicken oil into a big bowl and fill the bowl with boiling chicken broth. And serve the broth to table. But remember, don't drink it immediately because it's extremely hot. And then put the food items such as sesame, sliced meat, pork, liver, sliced of squid, etc. into the bowl and stir the soup slightly with a pair of chopsticks until these things are done. Vegetables are then added. Afterwards, add the second course. And actually, there's a very famous legend behind this soup. Have you ever heard about that?
No, go on.
I may heard, but I can't remember clearly.
The noodle has a name. It's called over the bridge rice noodles. It is said over the bridge rice noodles was firstly made in Mengzi County in South Yunnan more than 100 years ago. At that time, there was a salt lake outside the county town. A bridge from the edge of the lake to the middle to the island in the middle. In a lake where it was very quiet and very suitable for people to read. The story goes that a 秀才, you know what is 秀才? Xiu Cai was a scholar in Ming and Qing dynasty who passed the imperial examination at a county level. And that Xiu Cai was attracted by the peace and quietness of the island. So he settles into the cottage on the island and in preparation for further official examination. And his wife sent the meals for him. But the Xiu Cai was usually too absorbed in his books that he often forgot to eat his meals. I would never do things like him. I cannot forget my food. Yeah. When he finally realized it, the meals were cool, and he just ate a little and became thin as time went by. His wife was very worried about this, and one day he cooked a fried chicken and set it into a pot to her husband and went back to work. After some time, he went to see whether her husband had finished his meal, and this time he forgot to eat his meal again, just like he did. But to her surprise, the chicken broth was still very warm. It so happened that the oil layer on the surface had preserved the temperature of the broth. The overjoyed wife found a good way to do meals for her husband. From then on, she often prepared some broth and rice noodles beforehand, and crossed the bridge and cooked the prepared ingredients in a hot broth. And the local people also like the food, and that's why we have the over-the-bridge rice noodle.
That's a great story.
Yeah, I have never tried any real traditional rice noodles. I only have them in the capital city, Beijing. But if I have the chance to go to Yunnan in the future, I definitely gonna try this.
Yeah,
definitely.
You should.
Yeah.
And towards to northwest, about 300 kilometers from Kunming, it is Dali City. And Changshan and Erhai Lake are praised as Dali's leading scenic areas. Most attractions in Dali lie between these two landmarks, such as the Butterfly Spring and the three pagoda of Chongshan Temple.
And the Bai minority have made up the majority of Dali population, right, for generations. So the customs of those ethnic minorities bring a lot of charm to the everyday life in Dali. And every spring they have celebrations and festivals, such as the March Street Festival and the Butterfly Festival. And they, I think, are great examples of how to learn from the local folk customs. So make sure you check those out if you get there.
Yeah.
And what about the lake, the Erhai Lake? Yeah.
Do you know what does Erhai mean in Chinese?
Er means
I don't even
ear,
know.
Right?
What do you mean? Erhai.
Just the ear.
Er means ear.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Implying that the lake is ear-shaped and as large as the sea, hence it was so named. The lake covers an area of 250 square kilometers and is located about 2 kilometers east of Dali. It is like a crescent line between Changshan and Dali city as seen from Changshan Mountain. In a sunny day, the crystal waters of Erhai Lake and the snow-covered Changshan Mountain radiate with each other. Thus, the scene was commonly described as Civil Changshan and Jade Erhai.
Changshan Mountain. I was